Everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. Welcome to It's Time for More Injury Funding Podcast, the podcast for all who want to learn about legal funding and its significance in the personal injury, wrongful death, motor vehicle injuries, traumatic brain injuries, slip and falls, and any other type of law practice domains. I'm your host, Laura, founder and CEO of More Injury Funding, the legal funding with passion for law, medicine, legal funding, and heart for all suffering individuals. More Injury Funding is a host of this podcast, sponsor, member, associate, or business partner of Academy of Drug Accident Attorneys, Sandy Springs Bar Association, Georgia Association of Paralegals, State Bar of Georgia, and Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. In today's episode, we have a very special guest, Ryan Brennan, founder and CEO of Atlanta Personal Fitness. You can see the logo right behind us, and is based in Sandy Springs, Georgia. He found this transformational personal training location in 2022. Tell me, Ryan.
March 1st, 2020.
Oh, 20. Okay, wow.
Right when COVID hit.
Welcome to It's Time for More Injury Funding podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you today. So Ryan's three main objectives for himself and all of Atlanta Personal Fitness clients are get strong, toned and tight, feel confident, sexy and vibrant, transform your body for good. That's the goal. Personally, for me, it is positive energy and knowledge of the human physiology, along with application of individual desired and recommended targets that Ryan knows how to implement, whether it's toning up, slimming down, shedding some extra pounds, gaining energy, regaining confidence, or learning how to work out consistently, regularly, how to correctly perform each set of moves, how to eat properly based on desired goals, or familiarize ourselves with various food supplements. And by the way, we have two beautiful dogs. What the dogs' names are?
Maddie and Simba. They might make a little intro. Mamas, look at
Hello there.
Hi, baby.
Well, hello. Are you going to be on our podcast today? It's amazing. Yes, please do.
Right in time.
With your brother. And I'm a strong believer that the overall health of a human being consists of 7 dimensions, including intellectual, mental, emotional, spiritual, environmental, social, and physical health. Today, Ryan and I will talk specifically about one of these aspects, the physical health, which is interconnected, with any other facets, and which has a great contribution on a person's overall well-being of lawyers or really any other professionals on this planet or any other human being just like myself. So again, once again, Ryan, welcome to It's Time for More Injury Funding podcast today.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Can you share, a story maybe behind starting your fitness business and what motivated you to pursue this path in opening Atlanta Personal Fitness?
Absolutely. So it's funny. I was just talking with you about this. I graduated in 2017 in New York with my master's, and spontaneously, I took a road trip with my cousin like the day after, with no intention other than getting out of New York. So came to Atlanta, and literally that day, I interviewed for a personal training position, got it, and just moved here with 1 week's of clothes worth. And I was here for like 3 months until I went home and got more clothes. And then let's fast forward. I trained at different places while I was in Atlanta. I was dog sitting, boarding, walking to make ends meet. And I got really good at what I did, personal training wise and dog sitting, but personal training wise. And I opened up my own spot March 1st, 2020.
Congratulations. So it's been 3.5 years, more or less.
About 3.5 years today, as of today.
That's how I found actually, Ron, because, he promoted his business on Facebook, and that, I'm hooked. I only started with once a week, but this is it. Those girls makes me work.
Yes.
They really do. And the most amazing thing about your location is that you guys follow up via text message, via email. You never leave me alone. At first I was like, guys, you are bothering me. You don't have time for this. But to be honest with you, after a day or two, maybe a day and a half, I said, this is amazing. Because lives are so busy, we get caught up in business, children, groceries, traffic, and it just would slip my mind. But when somebody sends a sweet message, my trainer sent today something just encouragement, just real nice quote. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. So do you believe that physical fitness complements those other 6 aspects of human overall health and well-being? If so, how?
Absolutely. I definitely believe that it's all interconnected. And of course, I'm biased. I own a gym. So the physical aspect, moving our bodies just in general, posture, is hugely important. It influences our brain chemistry, and that influences our emotions and everything else that you mentioned. So 100% in alignment with that.
Okay. Yeah. And so are you saying that physical fitness, in addition to that of mental, provides the necessary resilience to navigate the challenges of lawyers' profession, since my podcast is,
Yeah.
more prone or, more dedicated to attorneys, profession effectively. How would you say it contributes to overall well-being, work performance, personal satisfaction?
Yeah, great question. And fortunately, I've had a bunch of attorneys, personal injury, family law, things like that, that I've been had the pleasure of training. And they've let me in on their life. And I got to, get in the mindset of a attorney, personal injury and family law, things like that. And it's a very demanding job. It can be, at least it sounded like, and it can be stressful and, just like anything. But when I trained my members, that I could see how they loved it. I could see the change in their physiology from when they started to finish, and that trickled into their wives joining because they loved how their husbands were in a better mood and things like that. So 100%.
And how do you
Absolutely. So from a data standpoint, is that what you mean? We have a in-body in the office, 20 grand machine that I took a big gasp, but I invested in it. And from a number standpoint, I believe it's good to see feeling wise, but also and looking wise, and then also the data. And buying that in-body has been life-changing because it not only shows your body weight, but it shows your body fat percentage, your muscle mass, your water weight. So if you're on your period, for example, your water weight's up. So that's why you gained weight. It wasn't because you actually gained body fat. And on the flip side, for the people that we train, showing them, hey, look, your weight didn't go down that much, but your body fat percentage went down 8%. Like, and look at you. Like, people can't stop giving you compliments.
That's incredible.
So it reinforces their behaviors.
So, provides several benefits to any professional, especially the attorneys. This is very sedentary, very stressful job. Those benefits are stamina and energy, mental clarity, focus, stress management, work-life balance, the professional image. If you had a new client coming in through the door right now and just to check out your facility to see what you're all about, which benefit would you start with? What would you tell that person?
That's a great question. And those first impressions are everything too. So I've thought about this, and first and foremost is that big welcoming smile, the handshake or the high five, some sort of physical touch to really set the tone and the vibe and energy. And once that report's built, then going in and seeing what they're here for, and essentially delivering on every word that I use towards what they want. And really what that comes down to is that emotion that they want to feel that they're not feeling.
So Ryan, can you share some key benefits you've experienced from maintaining a regular fitness routine yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's absolutely a habit for me at this point. And I feel off when I don't do it. But I start my day with caffeine and work, and I use the exercise before I see humans as my break. And it gets me in a state of joy. I'm energized. I feel more confident because I'm moving my body and my posture, all those things. And so when I see someone versus when I don't exercise, my energy and that transfer of energy is way more powerful with if I'm waving to someone at the grocery market or meeting with a client here. I'm a better human being when I have exercised. Not to say that I'm not when I don't exercise, but it enhances my life and how I communicate.
And would you say that applies to really any human being?
I would absolutely be biased and also say 100%. Yes.
And I can testify to that because, before my injury, I used to run at least 2 to 3 times, 5Ks just like in my neighborhood, work out, you do weightlifting a couple times a week, but with injury, I haven't worked out for a year and a half, and I can tell the difference. So
Yeah.
getting back to normal workout routine is very exciting.
And I love how you do that too. Like you walk the walk.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So, you had mentioned just a little bit, but tell me again, how do you stay motivated and overcome challenges when it comes to staying consistent with your fitness goals? And, you personally, and how do you apply that also to your clients?
Gotcha. So that is also something I've been deeply thinking about recently, kind of unpacking because I have 15 to 20 years experience with training, which is a long time. So for me, it's recently the business has picked up more, and I'm seeing that my time is being pulled in different directions. But I won't let myself, I won't let my health take the back burner. But in certain circumstances, I give myself grace. Like for example, yesterday, I only could complete half my workout, and I knew I could only complete half of it when I was going into it. But I told myself that's better than not doing it. And by simply doing it, I can make up that other half today or tomorrow. But as long as I'm doing the habit of getting, putting on my workout clothes, getting to the gym, moving my body, that's a win.
Very true. So many fitness professionals and fitness center or gym owners I've met over the years were inspired by either maybe an obese person they grew up with, mom, dad, cousin, sister, or a very sick family member, or being maybe bullied at an early age for various reasons as a child, or having a good family, friend circle or mentorship example who instilled a sense of importance of physical fitness. What was it for you that really made you, push you to get to this particular field?
Such great questions. So the picture pulled up in my mind. It's like it was yesterday. I was in high school, and I grew up with ADHD. I was adopted. I was bullied, and all those things. So and honestly, that was a blessing in disguise because it made me who I am today. At that time point, I didn't know that. So, but my posture was always slouched. I was always in my head, and I was training, like the typical bicep curls, like the bro stuff. I didn't really know what I was doing. And one of my friends actually asked me to train with him. And I did that, and I started training properly and started walking taller. I got stronger, and that was so empowering. And my posture came up. I was stronger. I felt stronger. Like I could take on the bullies and stuff like that. And I played sports, and that enhanced my performance in sports. And then I looked better. And so that was the defining moment where I was like, whoa, I'm never not gonna not do this.
I'm so proud of how far you've come, Ryan. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Super, super proud. Can't wait to see, how much further you'll go. And very soon. I know it's happening. It's in the progress.
100%.
So what are some common misconceptions or myths about personal fitness that you would like to debunk?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do on the nutritional side, and also with the fitness side. It's not about time. It's about what you're doing in that time, right? We get a lot of questions, rightfully so. And I would ask these too. How long are your sessions? And I always come back with, I give them the answer. It's 45 minutes and you don't want any more.
With this intensity, no.
Yeah. Yep. Because you can train for an hour and dwindle on your phone and say you train for an hour, or you can train for 30 minutes, not on your phone. And that was more than you got in the hour. So I think that's a big misconception, is time. And also frequency. We get great results with 3 times per week. It doesn't need to be twice a day or 7 times a week, which hopefully all these pointers I'm giving are helping people realize how simple it is. And then on the flip side, from the nutrition standpoint, I'll give you guys this. The number one principle in the research to lose weight is a calorie deficit. So it's not any of the diets. The pattern why diets would work is because the person was restricted in either a time frame that forced them to eat less calories, or it was the actual way of eating itself that had lower calories in it. But none of them work. They all work. It's just what works for you, and knowing the principle of that calorie deficit. And I say that because we work with mainly weight loss here.
Okay, interesting. And what would you tell to a person who's been injured like myself, and hasn't worked out for a long period of time, is, out of shape, lost muscle memory, cartilage, all the whole entire body. You probably can tell much better than I. But so what would be your recommendation to start with? How many times a week to do weight training or cardio?
Great question. So this is someone who is coming off an injury. They're getting back into it. They're kind of like starting over, so to speak. Yeah, absolutely. So we always say that, I think it's very smart that you're working with a professional. And not only that, but someone who's empathetic and is going to meet you where you're at. So the advice would be starting where you're at, whoever's listening, or you or me, and giving yourself grace. And first, just getting the habit down of committing to X amount of times a week, and then doing all the hidden habits. So like it's hard to start. So make it easy by surrounding your environment with a habit, forming environment, meaning lay out your clothes the night before so you wake up and you just throw them on. Um, Drive to the gym. That's a habit. Get to the gym. That's habit number 3. And don't take those small habits for granted. I feel like the best advice I could give that I don't think people talk about enough.
Okay. Think about these is probably off topic, but it is kind of, what do you think of those pre-workout powders, for energy specifically, on a day like this when it's gloomy, you really don't want to get out of bed, but yes, you told yourself yesterday that I'm going to the gym, but today is the day and you're like, no, man, I can't. So what would you recommend in that situation?
That's a great question. And I feel like you gave the answer in there. I'm just going to pull it out and with the perspective, which is if you need the extra push or the motivation, use a pre-workout that you like and that doesn't have a lot of fillers. And I'll give Prestige Labs a shout out right now. We're sponsored through them and we love them. But at the end of the day, it can help with motivation. We don't want to rely on it because it is in a form of a drug. But hey, if it helps you get to the gym, it's not harmful, then please use that to start your habit.
Okay. Can you provide some practical tips or advice for someone who wants to start their own fitness journey, but doesn't know where to begin? And probably asked that question already, but just kind of maybe repeat yourself, who doesn't know where to begin, or it has been, like I said, too long since they've done this, get their physical strength back.
Yeah. So I always recommend, and we do, a lot of goal setting consultations as you see me in the chair all day. And I always go over, hey, what is your goal? So like, what are we shooting for? Because we got to have a target, in order, because if not, it's like, what are we doing? And then why the heck is that important for you? And like, really why? Like, not just why is that important to you? Oh, because I want to feel good and healthy. You got to go deeper and get that candle inside of you. That's like when times get dark, like that candle's still lit. So like, what is that meaning for you right there? That's going to keep you going. And then after that, doing your research, whether that's working with a professional, which I always recommend, or if you're going to do it on your own, then make sure you know what you're doing, which comes in the form of learning online or the professional, and starting where you're at and not going. I think a big thing that I could offer right now is I think people think that they have to feel sore, which you don't. That's a myth in order to have a good workout. And to go hard, you don't. You just got to do it consistently and then gradually increase your weights by 5 pounds each session, things like that. So kind of like lower your expectations and just do it first.
Just do it. Okay. I love it. That thing. How would you recommend incorporating physical activity into one's daily routine, especially when faced with, super busy schedules like all of our lives? What is your advice to your clients about that?
Yeah, great question. So it's funny when we do the goal setting consultation and then they agree to work with us. One of the first things we do is schedule their workouts, of course, and that's always a funny time, no pun intended, because it's like, oh shoot, yeah, I actually have to like make time for this. So my opinion is something's better than nothing, and if option like the best option is find the days and times that you can do consistently, and if you can't, that's okay. But the earlier the better, most likely, because as the day goes on, and if you have kids, full-time job, you have employees, like you're more likely to get pulled away. But everyone like has that time in the morning that they can wake up a little bit earlier and make time for that.
Wonderful. And we touched on this a little bit, but what role does nutrition overall play in the fitness routine? And do you have any dietary tips or recommendations?
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, for any type of transformation, whether that's weight loss, weight gain, toning, things like that, athletic performance, just want to feel mentally better. Nutrition, we can't outwork a bad diet. And here's another like thing I would like to put across is get that in your mind. Like, hey, they're both equally important because they both serve different aspects. So, and the best advice there is we can't do too many habits at once. It's overwhelming. So pick 2 to 3 at the start. So you're already training. That's one habit. Pick one nutrition habit, and a key habit would be increasing your protein intake. And I'll explain about that right now. Protein is a keystone habit because it helps you feel fuller. It reduces soreness. And here's the cool part.
I don't know that.
It reduces soreness. It increases your metabolism. And here's the cool part that I haven't heard anyone speak about this. When we have a new client and we do their InBody and we get their BMR, their basal metabolic rate, which simply means the amount of calories your body needs at rest to maintain. So once we know that number, then this is crazy. We just did a InBody with Robin, who just completed her 6-week transformation. She lost a net of 15 pounds in the 6 weeks. Her muscle mass increased by 6 pounds. And her BMR started off at like 1400 and now it's at 1600. And here's the crazy part. She weighs less, but she can eat more because she gained muscle because of protein and strength training. So the protein is a very key habit for someone if they were going to start with their nutrition, protein and calorie deficit.
That's amazing.
Track it
Yes.
using MyFitnessPal or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you, if you did you overcome it? What would be a recommendation if somebody faced that, or somebody like me again?
Yeah, that's injuries can be psychologically an obstacle. Absolutely. So it can be discouraging because I'll put myself in the shoes of you and me in the past too. I've had a couple ankle injuries and you feel like you've done all this hard work and you like did it for nothing, or you just feel like you have this mountain to climb again. But the cool thing is from a neuro standpoint, the brain has learned already, unless there was a nervous system, disconnect with that injury, which is very possible. But the brain, it stored it. So it's easier to go around the second time and get that strength back, the stamina, all those things. It's going to come back quicker. And on the flip side of that, what's the other option? To not do it. And that's not an option.
Okay. I love it. How do you recommend your clients balance in their personal lives, or rather personal fitness goals with other aspects of their lives, such as work, family, social commitments? I know it's hard for somebody like me working in the legal and medical industry sometimes as I go to so many social events, gatherings, open houses, galas, and there's always alcohol available, but not so healthy food and snack options a lot of times.
Yeah. So I love this question. Here's what I tell the members. I'm big on not restricting and not feeling like we're restricting. So one of the best ways I feel like someone could do it, and this is what I do, is if I know that I have a happy hour at night for work or whatever that is, I put myself in a deficit for the day and I give myself a budget for night. So what I mean by that is during the day, I always recommend this. Hey, just stick to protein and veggies and ditch the carbs and fats for during the day. And then once the night comes, you're already in a massive calorie deficit. So you can afford to eat more. And with that said, typically when we're eating out, the foods have more calories, more fat and carbs in it. But we're in a deficit, so we can afford to eat that. And then I always say this, do that during the day, enjoy at night, period. That way you don't feel like you're restricted.
Absolutely. Can you, and I know you have a lot of these stories, but can you share maybe 1 or 2 success stories or transformations from individuals who followed your fitness guidance and programs?
Yeah. One of my first clients, Yaramis comes to mind. She lost over 100 pounds with me. And yeah.
It's impressive.
And I loved it. So some of the keys with that was having this mindset of a longer time horizon. So she was not in it for the short-term fix. And I feel like that's very important. So we helped her get in that mindset. And then the tangibles of that were the tracking. So, hey, Yaramis, like we're going to be training 3 times a week. I got you. That's covered. All you need to do is, and here is a meal plan with like a lot of what to eat and how much. Track your food and learn how many calories are in the foods you eat? How much protein is in it? And then after you do that for so many weeks, you don't have to do it. You graduate and you can eyeball it, and then you gain the intuition. I think a lot of weight loss programs don't teach people how to learn these types of things. And therefore someone does a program and they end up gaining it back because of that. So Yaramis comes to mind because she was willing to have a longer time horizon. She was willing to learn, and it wasn't perfect. We had ups and downs along that year journey. But she stuck with it and was patient and resilient with it. And
That's amazing.
she still kept it off. This has been at least 5 or 6 years from now.
Wow.
And she's still like going strong and has kept it off.
That's a beautiful
Yeah.
story. Do you know of any, or would you recommend any maybe free apps for checking or tracking the calories we intake?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think MyFitnessPal is one of the best ones because they just have such a great database. It's like Chipotle, fajita, and like it pops up. Like, so everything's already kind of in there. And you just got to pull it, and then, or you can scan your foods. It's free. If you wanted to get the paid version, I think you get more perks, but you don't need it. So the MyFitnessPal, and then of course we have our own app too, that you could actually track on that I didn't even know. But MyFitnessPal, free, get that to track and just learn.
And your app, get this.
Yep. They get the app on their phone and they can track all their habits. That's how we communicate with everyone, and it's super cool.
What unique aspects, services does Atlanta Personal Fitness offer that sets you apart from anybody else in the industry?
I love that. And I was just thinking about that earlier today because this franchise just opened up right at my apartment complex. And I got this email, and I live there and they don't. And they're like, come down and see, I'm not going to name the facility. And 50% blah, blah. And I'm like, I got butthurt for a second. And then I'm like, ooh, nice. I got competition. I like that because we're different in the sense that we're essentially an all women's facility. So women feel comfortable coming here. And of course, their husbands and boyfriends come here too. But pretty much an all women's facility. So they feel very comfortable and not judged. The second thing would be we offer transformation. So I always tell people in consults now, hey, look, we're not a fitness facility. We're a results facility. And we're going to give you not just the fitness, but that nutrition and the accountability. You're going to have your own accountability coach that checks in on you a couple of times a week. We're measuring your progress. You're guaranteed a result, or we train you for free. So we have a proven track record with all the transformations, and we're a transformation facility giving and offering a very structured program that's bulletproof. And I think those two things right there really set us apart among our team of coaches that have great personalities. They're excellent at what they do, and they foster this culture here.
Very much so. Sure. What strategies do you use to attract and retain clients in the competitive fitness market?
That's a great question. You're speaking to the business owner right now. I love marketing and sales. So we run paid Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And I'll say this, we spend $125 a day. And I think that's scary for a lot of business owners because that's $4,000 about $4,000 for the month. But if you do them right, then your return on ad spend, or ROAS, or investment, however you want to look at it, is ours is 8x. So, we put 100 in, we get 800 back. So we're just really good at that specific pull in the water. And now recently we're looking to add in the pull of referrals and develop a referral system, and literally teaching our clients, hey, here's how to refer for us. And then we make it as easy as possible. So there's no resistance for them, and we give them a bonus. I rather pay you what I'm paying for ad spend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh. Yep. So that's where we're at right now. And then we do have one other fishing pole in the water that we're about to start next week. Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
How do you stay up to date with the latest fitness trends and incorporate them into your business?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm really grateful to have my master's because I understand the principles of human behavior, and that's never going to go away. So I'm very grounded in what we do. And I also make sure that I'm up to date with everything, like the technology specifically in fitness and just in general, because that's always changing rapidly. That's why we have our app. But I think we're a great resource for people because when new fad diets, for example, come out and things like that, or fad workouts, we know what works, right? And we can ground people and also pull hey, let's pull in some exciting new things. It keeps it fresh, it keeps it fun, it keeps variety and excitement. Of course, we're going to pull in that stuff. And where I get that resources, I'm actually in a gym business group called Gym Launch.
Okay.
And they're ahead of the game and everything. They got things coming out with AI and stuff like that no one knows about. So I have secret access to the best in the industry, luckily. Yeah.
Have the community and connection among your clients and or members.
Yes. So as the business owner, my specialty is the marketing and sales. So this was an area that I was weaker in because it just wasn't of interest. But I noticed I can get people in the door and I can, influence them to make a decision that's good for themselves. And then we were leaking out the back end, losing people. And I was like, man, I'm just constantly getting people in, but they're not staying that long. And we had good numbers, but I knew we could do better. So I noticed that. And I learned, or I'm learning right now, and in the process that, I feel like people stay for the community. And so we're doing monthly member events. Like we have a potluck this Friday that you're coming with your son. I'm super excited.
I think I'm making some cabbage.
Oof. Oh yeah, I saw that on the recipe guide. Yeah, that's gonna be great. Yep. So monthly member events, challenges, internal challenges is what we call it for the members too. So every 6 weeks, like we're running a big booty boot camp for the members to keep it fresh, and then we're pairing them up with accountability buddies. We have a group in Facebook, and now we have a group in our app where we're doing a better job of posting wins and things like that. And then the coaches are now having them connect people in their pods, so to speak, for accountability buddies. So I feel like that's fostering a really good culture and environment for the people.
That's
support.
Wonderful. Can you provide any advice or tips for aspiring fitness entrepreneurs looking to start their own business in this industry?
Yeah, absolutely. I talked with a lot, and I always see, and this was me too, the woman in the red dress from The Matrix is a great analogy, where it's like there's all these, or shiny object syndrome, there's all these opportunities, but like stick with one avenue, and make sure that opportunity vehicle you can make enough. Like the gym, you can make a lot, but like there's better opportunity vehicles. I just love what I do, but I can make a lot more money doing a different industry for sure. But it's okay. But yeah, stick with that one opportunity vehicle, see it through to the end. Don't get distracted, and learn the skills of marketing, sales, retention, building a team so you can scale it. Know your numbers is the 5th thing. Those are my 5 business functions. And then brain fart. I had another thing, but I forgot.
So may continue in another episode going forward if you're interested. Because this is super interesting topic to me. Anything health related, nutrition is so with me. And so we kind of running out of time. So thank you again, Ryan, so much for being my very special guest on the podcast. It's time for more injury funding today. But before we conclude today's episode, I have one pop-up question for you. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Would you rather have more time or more money?
Wow. I've also been thinking about this recently too. I'm like, man, all the best resources on the planet, time, energy, money, attention. Definitely time. Yeah, because it is true. I heard this on a podcast. I think it was Tom Billu of Impact Theory, maybe. And like at the end of the day, if I had, and this is going to be a little vulgar, sorry, but if I had a gun to my head, or if I had one last day to live, I wouldn't care about the money. I would call my family, right? So I wouldn't call my money. So yeah, at the end of the day, it would be time over money.
That's amazing. Again, thank you so much for listening to our story about building a fitness empire, the growth and success of Atlanta Personal Fitness, its challenges, and the future of fitness today. For more tips and tricks on legal funding, personal injury, law-related topics, and medicine, follow me, like, and subscribe at More Injury Funding. And it's time for More Injury Funding podcast on Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, and all other main podcast platforms. Also follow More Injury Funding on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, Yelp, Google Business Profile, and of course my website at moreinjuryfunding.com. I can't wait to see you, my dear listeners and viewers, soon, and at my next upcoming episode. Tune in soon. Until then, be well.
Shout out to Laura too. Mom, worker, owns her own business, works out here, works out on her own. She does everything. She walks the talk, or whatever the expression is, and damn, I'm happy you're with us.
Thank you so much.